once when we were on Beechwood Avenue, and I was about 13 years old, I guess.
My daughter's boyfriend just died, and I was talking to her at the dining room table.
And I was laying down in my bed, and I was reading a magazine, and I was laying at the foot of the bed, because I used to lay there and I used to watch TV, because the TV was like right here, and the foot of the bed was here. So I wasn't watching TV, but, and I had like a console TV, one of those old consoles, and I was reading a magazine though, so I had my back turned to the TV, and then I heard this. I don't know if you can hear that. Like somebody was tapping their fingers on the TV.
Then after that, her daughter asked me to go upstairs and the light was off, so I walked upstairs.
I thought, and I don't know, I don't know, I didn't really think anything of it. I just turned around.
I walked upstairs and I went to turn on the light, and there in the chair, I could swear that I saw him as clear as day, sitting in the chair. And then I flicked the light on and I went, whoa.
And there was a man standing there, and he had on a top hat, kind of like Abraham Lincoln's, and a black coat and a white shirt, and he didn't have a beard. He was, I guess he was like an older man. To me, he looked older. He was probably about 50, and he was very tall. And he just looked at me, and I looked at him, and then he walked into the wall. And
my heart was beating really fast. So, and I was never really that close to him, so I never saw him in my dreams. But I could have swore, maybe because he was on my mind, and that we had that big argument downstairs about him, that he was on my mind when I went upstairs, but I could have swore he was sitting on the chair. I said, Jocelyn. She said, what? I said, your dad was just sitting on a chair. And he had his cowboy jersey on too. Same thing he was buried in.
Well, I always say, like when people ask me what religion I am, I always say I grew up Catholic, but we weren't really practicing Catholics. Poppy mostly was very not religious, like going to church, but he always had, like, we always had God in the house.
I must have been like 7 or 8. After I made my communion, every Saturday I went to confession, and every Sunday I went for communion. We used to get so bored with the same confession. We'd just say we disobeyed our mom and dad. So one time we stopped at the Tracy's 5 and 10, and we took a Super Bowl so we could say that we had another sin. And I said, well, I disobeyed my mom and dad, but I also stole. Like I could break a commandment. And so then he said, well, take it back. Why'd you take the Super Bowl? And he said, what did you steal? I said, a Super Bowl. He said, why'd you do that? And I got tired of just saying that I disobeyed my mom and dad. So he said, take it back, so we took it back. But I did have to say more Hail Marys and Our Fathers that, and that's the contrition.
I remember one story especially stood out when he was little, and he was fostered out. He was an orphan, and he lived with people he called Grandpop and Grandma, but they weren't really very nice to him. And he was little, and they sent him to the store, and on the way to the store, he used to have to walk past a great big house that everybody said was haunted. And you had to pass by it to go to the store, and then pass by it to go home. And so when he passed by it to go to the store, he kept thinking to himself, I hope it doesn't get dark. I hope it doesn't get dark. So he ran all the way to the store, he passed by the house, and ran by the house real fast. And then he was running home, and he had to pass the house, and he was thinking, oh God, just let me make it past the house. Just let me make it past the house. And he was saying, the Lord is my shepherd. And he was trying to remember how that prayer went. And he was little. He couldn't remember the whole thing. And he was going, the Lord is my shepherd, and I shall not want. He maketh me to, oh, you know what I mean. And he started to run. And that was one of my favorite stories. So.